What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to this week's edition of the Weekly Top 10. My name is Andre, Gretorp Show. We're going to be looking through the best moments of week number 8. Let's hit it off. And to kick us off, we have Zeno versus Cloud meeting up on Odyssey. This is game number 3, the decider, where Cloud is doing a 2-2 timing push. Unfortunately for him, Zeno is ready to intercept. Zerglings, Ultras, and Infestors are there to just slaughter the push and take out his army. Unfortunately, that wasn't enough, but it still gives Zeno the number 10 spot. Moving on over to number 9, we have Hwangson versus Bradoock. Now, this is a really clever little trick we have here. Bradoock notices that Hwangson has very poor SimCity at the natural, and he takes advantage of it. He's going to circle around the map, finally catching his opponent out of position, and with this great engagement, he's going to take the number 9 spot.
But still, I think he's going to win this fight. Hwangson fighting in a terrible choke.
And at number 8, we have the legendary match, Idra versus Ret. These two players met up on Antigua Shipyard, where Idra was in a really bad spot. But this really marks, I guess, a new point in his career, where he's turning it around and not giving up. Idra is going to take the number 8 spot for Perseverance.
Reinforcements will allow him to muster a defense here. Oh, but if he loses the queen, that's going to be painful.
He has 3 queens though, and actually the queen will stay alive. So far, beautiful defense by Idra here against Red.
Yeah, very well done. The engagements, and he doesn't want to clump up because the Banelings can change everything. A lot of damage gets taken. Idra does have the much shorter reinforced distance. The Spinecrawler falls. Idra's Zerglings are coming up from behind, but there's not that many, and it's Ret with the substantial army lead right now. Idra's, he's got to really pull out all the stops he wants to hold here.
But he has so many reinforcements coming in, man. I think Idra will be able to hold. He still has the worker lead. We can see it's very close. It's 1-0 roaches on either side. Red really microing his roaches right now, trying to pick off as many roaches as possible. Should not go off that ramp in a very long time. Idra actually went over towers and minerals as well. And indeed, man, he's going to counter, but he should still have more than enough units to defend.
Absolutely. That +2 is about to finish up. He's got a lot of roach reinforcements popping out. He's got a slightly, that's a pretty even concave. Huge counterattack in the third base of Ret right now. A lot of drones going to go down. And this could very well lock up this game for Idra as he does win this fight on his own creep. Red supplies plummeting, and Idra looking very strong.
Select versus Cats is going to take our number 7 spot for this hold. Cats is going up for a Roach Zergling bust. But Select, somehow reading into the mid game, sees this coming and is going to deflect it very easily. This is Preparation 101. Number 7 goes to Select.
Select, while he's going to use that second bunker as the main source of anchoring at this point. You can see Cash trying to wrap around and deny mining time. And I guess Cash at this point just counted him off just to deny that base while he gets his up economy back in order.
Look at this. The second siege tank is already out here. I mean, there's a very wicked push geared up with Select's build. And at number 6, we have Demuslim versus Hassab. It's one of the most anticipated matchups of the NASL Season 3. These two players met up on the Shattered Temple, where Demuslim was doing one of the most interesting builds we've seen so far. It's a 7 racks, 2 base pressure with an SCV pull. And with this, Hassab just could not defend against it, and he's the person that can always defend every single form of pressure. It was very impressive, and it gave Demuslim the number 6 spot in this week's top 10.
This is about to drop, and with that, just the armies left, but there's a lot of Stalkers and Zealots remaining. +1/+1 did finish for Hassab, so he does have to even up the upgrades.
Oh my god.
And Demuslim looks like he's going to be able to push in here. The medevacs with the Mirage are absolutely wrecking everything.
And we're halfway there with number 5 going to Chef versus MC. These two players met up yet again on Daybreak, where you're going to see some of those fantastic PvZ decision making that I've ever seen in a matchup. And this might be very, very subtle, but you're going to see MC know exactly when to attack, exactly when to defend, pull back his main army. A lot of people have trouble with that. MC does it perfectly. He will take the number 5 spot and the win over Chef.
Stalkers here. He's going to lose some roaches as well. Might be able to pick off a base, but will this buy the time that Chef really needs?
I don't think it's going to matter, Kev, because MC, he hasn't had to build a unit for the last couple of minutes. He's just staying maxed. He's building up a nice big bank of resources. While Chef's going to be able to run around and pick off some pylons and cannons and a couple of units here and there. He's eventually going to lose all these roaches, and when he does, what is Chef going to fall back on? He's going to try to make it Brood Lords, but yeah, those Spinecrawlers are melting away. The Zergling's not really going to represent much of a threat to this army. The Colossi doing a great job. There's the big blink by MC. And the Brood Lords just topple. And MC is going to take Daybreak pretty convincingly. Sheth taps out. GG.
And at number 4, we have Mana versus Rain. Now, let me give you a little backstory. Rain is doing a 2 barracks pressure, and they're both proxied. Mana, on the other hand, is doing a 1-gate Nexus, and then he starts teching. How does Mana actually stop this? Well, you're about to see right now the number 4 spot.
Trying to focus down the Marines, but it's very difficult. Ooh, good control by Mana.
Oh, no, not at all, man. The Stalker just got surrounded by SCV.
Yeah. And the Stalker does get picked off. The Probe's trying to click on minerals. I think he could still
maybe hold, man. He has so many probes over here. If he wouldn't have lost that Stalker, I would already say that it was a win for Mana. But even now, I still think it might be possible.
That's pretty impressive. Probe's doing a good job of dealing damage and absorbing damage, and Rain GG's.
Up next, we got Strelok versus Gonzi on Shakura's Plateau. Now, Strelok has a wonderful contain, and he's made it certain that his opponent knows about the contain. While Gonzi has to react, he's going to push forward, but that was all a diversion. With a big drop and a great mind game, Strelok's going to take the number 3 spot in this week's top 10.
And as Gonzi moves down, Strelok moves up. Big drop in the main base. Gonzi does clean up the stuff out front, but now his main is in big trouble. Gonzi will try to counter, but it doesn't matter. GG comes out.
All right, and we're almost there at number 2. We got Heypro versus Stefano. Stefano's in so much trouble in this point in time, with Heypro being on his side, and of course a Roach timing is looking to do a ton of damage. But somehow or another, Stefano does it every single time, where he's able to perfectly larva inject, macro up, and somehow hold this. Stefano, yet again, is hitting the top 10 of the North American Star League with this number 2 spot.
37 roaches in his natural, and Stefano just doesn't have any way to muster a defense. He's going to be forced to...
right now, a lot of roaches are coming in, the Zerglings are coming in from behind. Maybe if he pulls the drones too, then he's able to make a final hold. I actually think that Stefano will be able to hold. If he traps all these roaches, that would be quite huge.
He's going to come in for this one final engagement, surrounds everything. The Queen will fall, the roaches will melt away.
And last but not least, we got the number 1 spot. You guys know them, you guys love them. They were actually the number 6. They're going to Demuslim and Hassab's game number 3 this time. Now, this is something so cool about Hassab's that I had to point out for the number 1 spot this week. We have the same exact build that Hassab's got crushed to. The difference was 2-2 last time around. Hassab's this time reacts and adapts with a Blink Stalker and a delayed 2-2. He's actually able to get the perfect army composition and the army positioning with these upgrades. His adaptation will give him the number 1 spot in this week's top 10.
Able to really defend in a strong fashion with just Marines and Marauders and 1 Viking. Nothing really the Muslim can do. Tries to even snipe the Colossus. He does a great juke there, but all these units are going to drop, and that's very tough indeed for the Muslim. There it goes,
the medevac's down. That's the critical blow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this week's edition of the weekly top 10. Don't forget, we have one more play week in the group stages, and we also have wild card playoffs and the finals. Expect some top 10s, but over to you guys in the live desk.